Welcome to the Penrith Solar Centre Solar Academy. Today we are going to be talking about the all-new Enphase iQ5P battery. And in this video, you're going to learn about the specs of the Enphase battery. We're going to dive into the technical details and features, including its capacity, dimensions, and compatibility with other solar systems. We're going to explore the cost of the Enphase battery. We'll discuss pricing, what's included in your installation, and what impacts the cost of installing an Enphase battery. And we're going to talk about the lifespan of the battery. Could this be the longest lasting battery on the market? Let's find out. First up, let's talk about the specs and features of one Enphase battery. The batteries are 5 kilowatt hours of capacity each, and you can charge and discharge them at a rate of 3.84 kilowatts. That makes the Enphase battery the most powerful battery per kilowatt to kilowatt hour currently on the market. Not to mention, it's got an impressive peak power of 7.68 kilowatts for 3 seconds if you needed that much energy. The size of the battery is about 980 mil tall, the width is 550 mil, and it's 188 millimeters deep, which means it sits on the wall really slim. An advantage of the size of the Enphase battery is how close you can actually mount them to each other, which means you can utilize your wall space as the best you possibly can. The weight of the battery is 66.3 kilograms, which is quite light for a battery. The type of cell used inside this battery is the all-new lithium-ion phosphate technology, making it a really safe and long-lasting style of battery. Now let's look into the pros and the cons of the Enphase battery. The pros of the Enphase battery are that it has 6 microinverters built into this battery. So these are IQ8 microinverters. Not exactly the same type you'd put on your roof. They're a slightly different model to give you that peak charge and discharge rate. The 6 microinverters mean that there are no central point of failure when it comes to charging and discharging of the battery, like most of the Enphase battery's competitors, which means more time online and less time with no battery. The battery is lightweight and easy to stack. You can put 4 batteries per controller currently, which in the future will be expanded to 12 batteries. That's a lot of storage. Another pro of the Enphase battery, which is actually very unique just to Enphase batteries, is a feature called Black Start. What this feature is if you have a multi-day blackout, so let's say you live in a bushfire area and the grid goes out for 5 days straight. Most batteries will give you some degree of blackout protection, but not all batteries will actually let your solar keep running and topping up that battery. So what that means is once you've used the energy out of your battery and it goes flat, it will no longer provide any energy and the solar system won't turn on. You'll be sitting there as if you didn't have solar anyway. With the Enphase battery, even if you run it completely flat overnight, when paired with IQ8 microinverters, your IQ8s will turn on with sunlight. The IQ8s will search for the Enphase battery, they will talk to each other, the solar panels will start producing energy and charge the Enphase battery. All of a sudden, your home is back on and online, which will get you through those really tough times of adversity when you have no grid. That is one of my favorite features of the Enphase battery when paired with IQ8 microinverters. There are actually some cons to the Enphase battery. The Enphase battery at 5 kilowatt hours, in my opinion, is quite small. I think Enphase probably should have done a 10 kilowatt hour version, and we could have just stacked 10 kilowatts to give us 10, 20, 30, 40 kilowatt hours, and so forth. 5 to me doesn't suit that many people, and most people buying storage do need a minimum of about 10 kilowatt hours. We've seen other products on the market, such as Apple, only compatible with other Apple devices. Was this the right move for Enphase to only make their Enphase battery compatible with other Enphase systems? For us, that's not really a problem because we only do Enphase microinverters here at Penrith Solar. But if you're a company that does string inverters or DC optimized solutions, you won't actually be able to use the Enphase battery on your client's home. that could actually be a problem for someone who may only want 5 kilowatt hours of storage and will present limited options for them. Let's talk about the cost of the Enphase battery. What does it exactly cost at PSC and what's included in my installation? Well, when you're retrofitting an Enphase battery to your Enphase system, you're looking at about $11,000, including GST, parts and labour for one battery. The good news is that with scale and the more batteries you install, the dramatically better the value for money gets. If you were to add on a second or third battery, you'd only be looking for an extra $6,000 or so per battery. The reason for this is because you've already purchased the Enphase controller. This is the brains of the system. You're also already paying for us to be on site. Now, the other scenario where we install batteries is of course when we're installing solar and batteries together. The value for money for clients is far better to do Enphase solar and battery together. The reason for this is because some of the controlling components that we use in an Enphase solar system, such as an envoy and relays, have now been replaced by this Enphase controller. So instead of doing both separately, we can now do it all in the one controller. It saves parts and it certainly saves labor. For a system and battery together, you would expect your solar supplier to give you what we'd call a bundle discount or just a better price to buy it all and get it all installed on the same day. That is, of course, if your house permits us to install the solar on the same day. You'll need to get a site-specific quote to see if that suits you. Maybe you've seen some pricing on an Enphase battery, and you might be thinking, why does the cost of an Enphase battery vary from installer to installer? Well, there are two things to take into consideration here. Firstly, the company that's installing the battery, and that is arguably the most important part of your installation. Are they using paid by the battery subcontractors, or are they using their own in-house, highly trained electricians to install your product? Are they getting paid hourly, where they're actually incentivized to take more time and not take shortcuts? Or are they going to have to make some tricky decisions on site, maybe slap some external conduit up, get it done, commission it, and walk away and on to the next? In-house installers will certainly add cost to your Enphase battery installation. The other factor of Enphase battery installations that will adjust the cost is the price that the solar company can buy the battery for. If you're a company like us who only uses Enphase microinverters and installs so many Enphase batteries, you can rest assured that we'd be buying the Enphase battery for the best price possible. If you're dealing with a company who maybe only does them every now and then and dabbles in string inverters and whatever else they feel like it on the day, they may not be able to buy the product for as good as what we can, which of course we pass on to you. Let's talk about the lifespan of the Enphase battery. There's a common misconception out there that batteries don't last long, they need to be replaced every 5 years, and I'm pleased to tell you that the Enphase battery has the greatest warranty out of any battery that I've ever seen. It has a full replacement warranty of 15 years, which covers up to 6,000 cycles or 15 years, and it's guaranteed to have 60% of output at 15 years. That is industry leading by far. Another great thing about the Enphase battery when we're talking about lifespan is that the Enphase battery is up to 95% recyclable. That's really, really important when we're talking about the future of renewables and battery storage in Australia. The things that impact the lifespan of the Enphase battery are the same as the things that impact the lifespan of every other battery on the market. That is, of course, temperature. The hotter the battery gets, the worse it actually performs. It's also true for the colder the battery gets, the worse it performs. Now, when you're thinking about how hot will my battery get, you really want to think about where you're going to mount this battery on your home. We don't recommend putting it on a west wall that gets belted by the sun in the afternoon. Instead, find a nice cool place, maybe in the garage, maybe on an eastern or a southern wall, where the battery won't get belted by sun every day. That will certainly expand the life of your Enphase battery. The next thing that affects the Enphase battery's lifespan is the amount of cycles or the charge and discharge rates that you put the battery through. If you put the battery on a virtual power plant and make it work really hard to make you a lot of money, you will pay the battery off faster, but you may reduce the life of the battery. I would say you're probably going to abuse the battery to some extent. Now, that's not a bad thing necessarily, because if you got more returns out of your battery, that would be a great outcome, right? but just be mindful that that may reduce the lifespan of your Enphase battery. The last thing that will affect the lifespan is the depth of discharge. If you're discharging your battery to 0% every day and leaving it 0% for days on end, maybe your solar system's turned off or it's really, really rainy weather, that may affect the lifespan of your Enphase battery. However, that's less of a problem these days, and the reason for that is because batteries have really smart battery management systems. If your battery knows that being at 0% is going to damage it, then it will charge off the grid through a feature called grid charging. Now, just because you think your battery's at 0%, don't be fooled. It will still have 5% in the bottom of it at all times. So doing damage to the battery this way isn't as easy to do as what it once was many years ago. Is the Enphase battery actually worth your time, your money, and your wall space? Well, if you take into consideration things like financial return, the features of the battery, such as the incredible monitoring app and the all-in-one 15-year Enphase warranty, and the most powerful feature of the Enphase battery that's rarely spoken about, which is a feature called Black Start. If you lived maybe in a bushfire area and you knew that at times of your life you're going to have no grid available for multiple days, the Enphase battery paired with Enphase microinverters will not be beaten by any solution on the market. If you take all those things into consideration and you've got a beautiful spot on your home to mount these Enphase batteries and you think you're ready to electrify your home, then the Enphase batteries may certainly be worth it. However, that decision's up to you. I hope this video's been informative, and if you're looking for more information on the Enphase battery, check out all our articles around Enphase batteries, installation quality and techniques. And thank you for watching. I'm Jake from the Penrith Solar Centre. We'll see you on the next one.